The MoneroTopia guest segment is sponsored by Cake Wallet. Store, send, receive, and exchange your Monero and Bitcoin safely on iOS and Android too. Cake Wallet is open source, and you always control your own keys.
All right, Tatiana, how's it going?
I'm well. How are you guys doing?
Good. You might hear a baby in the background. She's feeling a little vivacious today. We're seeing a new side of her today.
Right.
So
That means that she's got a lot of spirit. That's a good sign.
she definitely does.
Very cool. Yeah. So happy Saturday to you guys. I tried to set up these lights. Maybe I should have made them a little bit brighter. It's a bit overcast here in Miami, which is a bit unusual. But yes, I also have some bling. I see you have like a bunch of like sparkling stuff.
I got my Christmas tree. I have my MoneroTopia neon sign.
Oh, I couldn't even tell what it was. It just looked like a hodgepodge of like rock and rollness. But yeah, now that you mentioned it's a Christmas tree, I can tell.
And then this backdrop here, that actually we had somebody paint that. We were at a conference. It was the Shitcoin conference in Miami in 2020 or 2021.
Okay.
And I paid somebody in Monero to paint this mural. And then
it looks really cool in the background.
Yeah, it was cool. It's just I got to spend Monero to do, obviously I love that somebody was willing to accept Monero for it. And then I actually paid somebody in Monero to drive it up from Miami.
Oh,
and I found and it was, I'm telling you, you can live off Monero these days, Tatiana. It is possible. It is possible.
Well, I felt like I could live off of it, at least in Mexico City, at MoneroTopia.
Did you have a good time at MoneroTopia?
So that was my first MoneroTopia, and I'm here to tell people that they should all be going. I was a super big fan of it. There were a lot of mushrooms available. Not that that's like the selling point at all, but it's a very noticeable thing that when you go in there, they have these vendors, and you're like, oh, how cute, like little Mexican vendors selling mushrooms, like all sorts of paraphernalia and stuff. So I was looking for a family-friendly gift, a little bit hard from that perspective. But yeah.
There was family-friendly things too, though. There was apparently
there were, but that was like a real feature. That's really where
that was the star.
Yeah, I would say so. No, what I really liked about it was that the conference wasn't all about political solutions. It was just about real solutions. And I have found that really refreshing after such a long time in America and listening to everybody talking about the elections. And luckily being out of the country during the elections, I thought that was really, a nice treat. I didn't have to listen to any kind of complaining necessarily, not as much as I would if I was here. So yeah. I don't know. I really liked it. I liked the space. Is that the first time that you guys had it in that space? I think it was the second year in that location, correct?
That was the second one. Yep, second one. And we'll probably do one more there at least. We'll probably do the next one there as well, too, just to kind of ride off the momentum. And I love that location, that place, for all the reasons you're talking about. And I do think maybe we can more permanently build up Monero there, too, because that marketplace was there during the conference, but then a lot of those vendors are there on a regular basis. Like every weekend they're there for like a different marketplace. So we could get them to the point where they're not just accepting Monero during MoneroTopia, but like they're always willing and ready to accept Monero. That'd be a great thing to leave behind, right? So when we finally leave, Huerta Roma, we leave with making an impression where we have a bunch of vendors that are still there accepting Monero would be the goal.
Yeah, I think so. Overall, from what I understand, Monero can have a pretty good hold on Mexico because they like they like cash, right? So cash, you're not really going to replace cash. Cash is king, right? But with Monero kind of hiding your identity and everything like that, I think that works for certain kinds of people that want to, I don't know, stay out.
Yeah, I think they're like you said, they're very much cash based. I think that's part of their culture too, right? They, it's very much a market based. Like you walk anywhere in Mexico City, right? There's vendors selling things for cash on the street. But I don't know. I don't know the politics down there, but I'm sure like everywhere else in the world, they're trying to eliminate cash. I'm sure they're looking to do that in
Well, I
Mexico as
think that
well.
that, from what I understand, that would be very difficult to do in Mexico. So I like that
Mm,
about it. I think generally people are always looking for escape routes from America. I would hope that we don't have to leave America and we can keep it relatively free-ish. But Mexico is kind of attractive in some ways, and people do like to live free there. And then there's seems like a lot of different people are creating little enclaves there. Are you going to go to Derek Rose's event that he's having in the beginning of, what is it? No, it's the end of January.
End of January. It's like the first weekend in February. End of January. I would love
Mhm.
to go, but with the baby, I don't know. I don't know if I could pull that one
All
off.
right, so your travel is limited. Do you have any travel confirmed, perhaps, in your upcoming weeks of being alive?
Well, I'm hoping to go to your conference.
Okay,
I haven't
so I
complete.
didn't know if we were going to talk
Yeah,
about
I
that.
haven't. I haven't completely confirmed, and I will like by before the new year. I promise I will confirm with you, just so we could get that. But yeah, would love to go down to your conference and I guess be a speaker potentially, right?
Yes. So
All
let
right,
me tell everybody what's going on.
let's
So
do it.
I was sick and tired of hearing people talk about, Donald Trump and Kamala and all the different presidential elections that were going to impact my life, because I don't think that they will. I think that there's a lot of other things that we could be doing that's more important than just voting. So the counterparty is kind of like countering the political parties. And we're doing all different kinds of things. So from homeschooling to permaculture to wellness, different kinds of wellness, like from food freedom to actual, like spiritual kind of stuff. We also have health and wellness kind of freedom. So I have Kristen Megan coming into town, which I'm really excited. Got a lot of different speakers. We're going to be talking about security as well as Bitcoin, as well as art and NFTs and stuff like that. So we will have some people from Counterparty, the original protocol that was building kind of NFTs on top of Bitcoin. I have some ordinal friends coming to town. So it's going to be a lot of different stuff, but basically no statism. That's the main kind of tenet that's tying this together.
So similar to MoneroTopia, like the opting out, the whole opting out. How do we opt out, and having the tools and the people there to kind of teach us how to do so.
Yeah, I think you guys were more privacy focused. We're like
Okay.
privacy-ish. Like, we care a little bit about privacy, but I would say that that's maybe 1/8 of the things that we're concerned about. It probably should be more than that, right? But hopefully if you could join us, you can remind everybody why this is so important.
Awesome.
Yeah, I think
Uh,
it's going to be mainly Bitcoin stuff, not so much Ethereum really, but like
okay.
I don't know. So some people think that Monero is a shitcoin, but I feel like that's really rude and completely ridiculous. Like, how long has Monero been
Yeah.
around for?
It's like 2014.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's one of
So
the
yeah,
oldest
I think that
cryptos.
if you're a cryptocurrency and you're still around from 2014, like you automatically lose shitcoin points. Like you're most likely
Yeah.
not shitcoin. And also Monero,
No,
like I don't know. I found that kind of ridiculous when somebody said that to me. So anyway, I'm excited to have you guys. If not you, then other people representing the conference. Nick Spanos is supposed to be speaking, so that'll be cool.
awesome.
Yep.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah.
I didn't even know he was at MoneroTopia. Like I was like, Nick Spanos was there. Like, I had met him in Miami at another conference, and I think he was a little larger at that time. He lost a lot of weight, so so he was like, no, he was at Monero. I was like, what? I didn't even get to talk to the guy. I was like,
Yeah, I
how did I
met him at
miss?
Bitcoin Nashville. Then I saw him, talked to him at MoneroTopia. It's cool seeing him there again.
Yeah.
Interesting guy.
Jeez. I
Yeah.
would
Nick
because he
is
loves
like,
Monero. He's a big Monero. He's a big Monero fan for sure.
no, he's a big freedom guy in general. So
Hmm.
yeah, we've got a lot of different people, and it's 2 days of stuff. So we're gonna have music and like live music, and then some comedy and stuff in the evenings. I want to do some kind of a dating game, so I'm working on how best to put that together. Like, how do I make it so we outbreed the status?
Yeah.
And then, yeah, I mean, overall, I think it should be fun. It's right after WAGMI, which is Mo Levin's event. It used to be called the North American Bitcoin Conference, and it's been in Miami for over 10 years, whether it's been this name or another name or whatever. So we're piggyback. They're doing the 21st to the 24th, and then we're doing the 25th and 26th, which is a Saturday and a Sunday out on South Beach.
Okay. Oh man, I love South Beach too, obviously,
Yeah.
and I'm
Yeah. Well,
sure the weather will be nicer than New York.
the weather is always nicer than New York. So I used to work in Manhattan at different recording studios there and stuff like that, but I never miss it. I'm so
Yeah.
happy in Florida. I think everybody should move out of that area. New York is over. Florida is where it's at. Miami is a really great location. So I recommend that people come here if they want to have some, semblance of freedom. Let's face it, nowhere is really all that free in the world.
Yeah,
What do you think is more free, Mexico or America?
that's a good question. I think Mexico more so because it's just more less organized, right? So like
Mhm.
you could kind of get more lost in the crowd. Like Mexico City, you could live pretty freely uh, and be under the radar. I mean, that's my feel. I've only been there for short periods of time, so I don't know if you're engaging in society and on a longer term basis if the government really starts to infiltrate your life. I don't know, but I think overall they're
Probably
probably
not.
less organized.
I think that they're probably a little bit more free. I do think that we're a little bit more functional in certain ways
Hmm.
that I really like. Like I was in Australia once and I just remember thinking that, like customer service, they didn't understand the customer is always right. And I really miss that about America. Like you could like complain and they're supposed to care there. And in other
Right.
places they don't. So I feel like that is I mean, it's a first world problem, but like I'll take it.
I know. Even when I was in Mexico dealing with Home Depot, because we're buying stuff for the yeah, it was Home Depot, but it was Mexico City Home Depot. Like Home Depot near, it's like like you said, customers always first, right? You go whatever you need, whatever you
Yeah,
need to
like, and even
return.
if they don't
Yeah.
care about you, like, they have to at least pretend to care, you know what I mean? Like,
Right. Right.
whereas in other places, they're just like, "Yeah, whatever, you're on your own, pal."
We're spoiled by the commercial culture here in New York or
Yeah.
in the U.S.
Yeah, but I think, yeah, I definitely learned a lot at the MoneroTopia, and I hope that people have a similar experience at our event too. So, I don't know, what are your plans for next year? How many of this is it going to be the third one next year in a row?
It will be the fourth. But the first one we did was in Miami, actually. The first one we
Oh,
did
really?
in
Okay.
Miami. We did it alongside the Bitcoin conference.
Maybe it's time to bring it back.
Miami, obviously, I love Miami, but it's expensive too, and it's not that easy for a lot of people to get to. Like, so there's a lot of Monero people that don't want to come to the U.S.
International people.
Yeah, a lot of
Um,
international
yeah.
people. It's like a pain in the ass. They don't want to get a visa, or or they really just don't even want to step foot on U.S. soil. They feel like, they feel
I do
like
want
the
another
U.S.
crypto
asks.
conference in Florida, though.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That would be
I
that would be
mean, I
cool.
feel like I get it, but like it's Miami, you know what I mean? You've got beaches, it's very nice, like the weather's really good.
Hmm.
It's not the most communist place in America. There's a lot of Cuban people. They'll fight it off if it ever, comes push
Well,
comes.
I mean, just from a visa perspective too. Like we had people that were like coming in from Russia, that were coming in from, there were people from all over the world that were in Monero. That it might have been more difficult for them to like get into to
All
the
right.
U.S.
Well,
You know what I'm
we'll
saying?
have like a little MoneroTopia panel at my event or something like that. Maybe where we just talk about privacy stuff because I do think that's a critical component. And
Yeah.
it's not as sexy as like some of the other fun stuff in crypto, but it's important. So
I think it's amazing. Yeah, counterparty. Like for those who don't know, I mean, you don't have to go into great detail, but I think it's amazing that you're part of the original counterparty project. I mean, talking about being ahead of your time. I remember when I was around. I was like kind of, just I was in crypto at that time, but like that was like that was like kind of the most abstract thing that was going on in crypto at the time. You guys are like really breaking new ground. First ones to kind of really think about like smart contracts and whatever colored coins, I think you were calling them at the time. And yeah, if you want
yeah,
if you want to just like
so
tell the people a little bit.
sure. So basically, I got into Bitcoin in 2012. I was really kind of against the Federal Reserve, and I was on the Ron Paul team. So I was going around singing for Ron Paul, and so that's how I got introduced to Bitcoin. Then I wrote a Bitcoin jingle that became quite popular. But then I made the world's first artist cryptocurrency. So it was called Tatiana Coin. We made it in April of 2014 is when we minted the first one. And basically, it was built on top of Bitcoin. So a lot of people talk about runes and ordinals and they're like, oh, the first tokens on Bitcoin, but that's not true.
Yeah.
The old counterparty stuff is there. So there was also colored coins, but I never did anything with colored coins. Me and Adam B. Levine from Let's Talk Bitcoin, we made a company called Tokenly. So Adam built it and I was kind of their guinea pig. So, I had a lot of different ideas that we could realize due to the fact that we made that company. It was like a Web3 company before people called it Web3. So definitely a lot of interesting stuff going over that. I think that, it's interesting seeing a lot more people interested in this space, but I think that it's got a really long way to go. Like, I don't think that fans are saying, oh man, I really wish I had NFTs. Like, I don't think that they're really clamoring for that. But I think that artists are looking for new ways to interact and also to monetize. So it should be an interesting bull market, assuming we keep going up from here, which I think most people are expecting that, right? So it'll be interesting to see, how that affects how the music stuff grows, because it's been kind of building up for a while. And I've got an ordinals project that I'm doing early next year. So that'll be fun, and I can't talk about it because it's top secret. So,
whatever happened with Counterpart? Does it exist still in
Yeah,
some form? Did it evolve into something else?
No, Counterparty still exists. So basically, what happened was the Counterparty main guys, they got taken away and they started working on, oh God, what the hell was it called? Symbiont. And it was kind of like a banker coin or whatever, but then they had some issues with that. So only J-Dog and a few other people really cared about Counterparty. Like, our artists kept minting on there and it still kind of sort of worked, but it fell by the wayside. And then the main person that was doing anything with it was J-Dog, and he had only that, like, he was like the main guy that was doing anything, right? So then Adam Krellenstein and the main guys that were the original developers, they've come back. They raised a little bit of money so they can pay themselves while they're working on it. And so they're making a lot of improvements to Counterparty now, hoping to get back some of its former glory. I think that they'll be successful. I think that, it takes some time to, like, if there's only one guy that's really working on it for 10 years, right? There's like a lot of work to do, but I think that they're making some progress. And Shaban from Spells of Genesis also made a really cool marketplace. So I think that, I would like to see a lot more coming out of Counterparty in the upcoming years. And I think that we will see that for sure.
Cool. Yeah, I haven't really kept up with that. So where do you see it kind of fitting versus some of these other tools that are now out there that are also fulfilling the NFT, use case and whatnot?
Well, like I said, so I have some friends that made some ordinals. They explained runes to me. I made some runes of Tatiana coin, just like goofing around. So I'm kind of still learning. That's part of what I want to talk about at the Counterparty, is have different people like with following other projects. It seems to me like, everybody thinks their idea is unique, but like, in a way, the same idea kind of resurfaces in various places, right? Because the same problems keep trying to be fixed. But which one is going to be the winner? I mean, I think interoperability is going to be the main thing that people will want in the future. So their audiences can be kind of shared, right? Like, if I want to make something and I only want to release on ordinals, well, then the Ethereum people don't have anything that they can buy. And maybe I'm missing out on some potential like buyers and collectors there. So, we'll see what ends up happening. But I think that interoperability would be nice. So this way people can choose their chain, mint it however they want to, but actually be able to get exposed to a number of different people without having to like pick a side. I think that would be really nice to see in the future.
Yeah, I've always been focused on the digital cash aspect of crypto and kind of ignored the NFT space. But I do think obviously there's value there. There's things that will be done. But like you had even said on the outset, like, there's a little bit of a disconnect between the artist space and what it actually is organically being used for versus what it's just kind of like being used for because NFTs exist, right? It's
Yeah.
what do you see it ultimately evolving into? What does the future of NFTs look like in terms of like how artists use them, and do you think they really do get adopted on a higher level and become a part of
Yeah, I think
the everyday?
so. I just think that like not everybody wants to collect baseball cards, right? So NFTs are a little bit like that, right?
Mhm.
Not
That's how I
everybody.
always describe them too. Yeah, that's from when people would ask me when they were first grade, like, "What?" I'm like, remember baseball cards? Yeah, it's like the perfect way to describe it.
Well, and there's something nice about being able to kind of share your art with people. I had a demo of a project the other day, and it was like, oh, these are my NFTs that I'm holding. And so it is like a statement piece about, what kind of a collector of art you are, like in a much
Hmm.
more accessible way. Let's say before, if you're an art collector and you have pieces of art at home, like you have what, 10 pieces at most, and nobody sees them except for the people that come over. If you are interested in art and you have an NFT wallet and it shows all your different pieces that you're collecting, like there is some bragging rights to that. If we had another situation where people couldn't leave the house, um, like God forbid another COVID or something, I think that those kinds of things would be a little bit more collectible, like for the normie or whatever. But going forward, I mean, I think that it's just like if you're a musician, where are you making your money? You're not making it anywhere. You're begging people for tips, which is kind of ghetto, whatever. Like nobody really wants to do that. Speaking of which, I'm running a Kuno campaign to support my event.
Oh,
If people
okay.
would like to like give me money because I'm begging for it. But like, okay, so that's like one model, right? And people can donate Monero there. But like otherwise, how are you making money? People aren't buying CDs anymore. If people listen to you on Spotify, you don't get any money basically. If they listen to you on, YouTube or something, you get like 2 pennies a year. So, I mean, yeah, you can maybe sell your music to commercials, but that's kind of gross to begin with. And second of all, everybody's already trying to do that, right? You can sell your music on movies and things like that, but now they want to pay you an exposure because just like exactly how you want to pay your rent is like with exposure. That's really effective. So there's just like no way to really monetize. I mean, sure, you can do a gig, but I mean, what are you going to make out of a gig? Like $400 if you're lucky, like for one person. And that, I think that's actually kind of a lot. I would say that most people should expect to make between $100 and $300 a gig. And so like you have to get ready and you have to get there. And I mean, just like there's just no sustaining art as like a real thing, right?
Hmm.
Because music lessons cost money and like actually like doing all these things cost time and stuff like that. So yeah, I think that NFTs are a good way to support artists. Whether or not you care about seeing the NFT in your wallet is a different thing. I don't like how you have to do Patreon now because now you have to just sit around and think about ways to entertain your fan base and say like, all right, my art isn't enough, but now I have to give you guys a personality, and it has to be a personality that you like. And it has to be something that I want to do every other day and I want to show you. Like for me, I guess cooking would be tolerable because I like to cook and, whatever. That's like a personality thing. But like, F off, man. Why is my job now like making cooking videos? Like or
Like,
telling
how did that happen? How
hey,
did?
and being charming. Like I guess like okay, maybe I could try and be charming. But like, it's just a real hassle to try and do something that should just be making like art, right? You now have to be a business person, you have to be a marketer, and you have to,
Yeah.
I don't know, you just have to live a life that people want to peek into. And why should you have to do that? Like, why can't your life just be normal and you just don't have to tell people about how you made your egg whites that morning? I don't know. I just feel like it's like annoying.
And there's so much competition now too, right?
Yeah.
Because it's
Yeah, like and
easier.
you can't even be that interesting because like
Yeah.
your breakfast isn't interesting unless you have like maybe boobs out or some kind of a hot take where you're, making fun of people or you're like talking
Yeah.
about sporting events or something like I don't I don't care about that, you know. Anyway, so
No, so that's a good point. So like the promise, part of the promise of NFTs is that it could help give artists like a revenue stream, right? That's part of
yeah, I
the
think
hope.
so. And like also have, contact with your fan base that's not really dependent on, if I have my fan base on Facebook, well, now I have to post on Facebook, then I have to post on Twitter, then I have to post on this and that. Like, and eventually each of those platforms has their own algorithm and they're not letting their people see me because I put an outside post to the counterparty.com. And that now I'm not allowed to do that. And so now people aren't even going to see my post. So why the hell am I using their stupid platform if nobody's even seeing my post? Why? Because I posted an outside link? Well, like no shit. Like if I'm trying to sell something, what the hell's the point of this if I can't So I don't know. I feel like social media is a little bit played out and kind of fake. And if you have an NFT community, I don't know, there's something that where you kind of control what's going on there, right? If it's fake or whatever, you can kind of figure out that stuff yourself.
Are you following some of these newer projects and up and coming ones? Like we have like Tari, I don't know, it's been talked about for many years, has yet to launch, but the promise is that it will kind of be like a Ethereum, a Monero version of Ethereum. Xano, right? I don't know if you're
Well, I
familiar
met
with
the
Xano.
Xano team, and because I like to think that Aaron Day is smart.
DarkFi.
Yeah, DarkFi is cool. I got the hat from Amir, and I felt like it was like the movies. I was like, "Oh, Amir, I love your hat," and he's like, "Here you go," and then he like whips it up and like tosses it into the audience. I'm like, "Oh, cool." Only moments like that can be recreated at MoneroTopia. People can buy their tickets now. When is it happening next year? Do you know specifically yet or no?
Yeah, well, because of the baby, we had putting things on hold a little bit, so probably won't be November. We'd probably push it back, maybe like back to like February, March.
All right, 26. I see. I
Yeah,
see how it is.
yeah.
Well, you gotta like raise a kid and stuff, so that's fine.
Yeah, priorities, But
Okay, I
hopefully
accept
she'll
that.
be there with the older one too. That would be the dream. So we'd have the whole fam down there.
Yeah, that's for sure. And then in the meantime, people can come to the counterparty and they can get like a fake version of it or whatever. So what do you know about this Kuno stuff? My friend Josh, he told me about it.
What do you mean? What do I know about it? Like what is Kuno?
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, Kuno is just a way to do a fundraiser with
Yeah, that's what I
Monero
thought.
directly peer to peer. So no fees are taken. You could post whatever you want. So it's a very powerful tool because people are using it. While you can use it for anything, people are
Mhm.
using it for some like pretty impactful things that you wouldn't be able to use it for otherwise, right? Like raise money for Palestinians, right? And like you can, without censorship, without anybody being able to stop you, you can send Monero to somebody who's maybe fighting a political cause in some totalitarian country or in some situation where
Do you think
they're.
people do it? Do you think that people like
Oh
donate a
yeah.
lot of money through those kinds of things? Because I feel like it's like a little bit played out now. Like people aren't
No,
doing
we're
as much donations as they used to. Like remember Change Tip back in the day? That was like a thing back in the.
yes, but for whatever reason in Monero, that seems to be one of its like primary use cases, right? Because in Monero, everybody's like, if we use it, we win. Use it, use it, use it. That like the culture of Monero is to use Monero. The
Mhm.
culture in Bitcoin, right, has become to store and save and hodl and cherish your Bitcoin and never use it. In Monero, it's use it, use it. That's the power of the tool. So I do think we're if anything, we're seeing growing adoption. I mean, if you pull up Kuno, you'll see there's lots of Kunos. We could pull it up now. Tux, if you want to bring it up. Lots of different Kunos that get
Sure.
posted and they get fulfilled, and
I just
everybody
posted
that's
mine as a response to me tweeting about this, but yeah,
okay.
this is my first time using it. I am, I guess we're trying to put it in like to the BTC Pay server or whatever, if we can do a Monero directly payment.
You're trying
So,
to
I
do.
like to see the Ross Ulbricht Freedom Party. That's important.
Yeah,
Not
somebody just
people.
threw that up. It hasn't gotten much yet. Well, we haven't really pushed it. This will be like, yeah, here, join us in supporting the Gaza humanitarian fundraiser. So people have been
That's a lot.
running this same campaign has been going on in Bitcoin as well, and I think
Mhm.
Monero. I mean, there's been a lot of Monero. 182 Monero have been raised, right? So that's a
Wow,
big
that's a
number.
fair amount. That's a lot of.
Yeah,
Okay, cool.
yeah.
Very cool. Yeah, I was
Uh,
trying to find this on Twitter, but I only know Anne.
Yeah, so and it's very accessible. It's very easy to create an account. There's no KYC. You could be in Afghanistan,
Anybody's.
right? And you could go on, you find an internet cafe and create a Kuno. Nobody knows who you are, right? And you can
Mhm.
receive donations without censorship from anywhere in the world. So it's pretty powerful. It's one of what I think is the most powerful concepts behind crypto itself, like letting you do things like what you're doing here on Kuno. So it's a cool
Yeah.
tool. Yeah, if
Well,
you want
somebody
to,
taught me about it, so I like that you're also into it. That sounds like a good plan. Um, why do you think
yeah.
do you think that Monero is going to go up this year? Do you think it matters? It seems like this is like the one community where it doesn't matter so much if the price is going up or down. It's very bizarre.
Well, that's very much part of the culture, right? Because the culture is treat it like a tool, use it, spend it. So no matter what the price is, it still has that utility of being able to use it as cash, right? So we
I
shouldn't care.
mean, would anyone be opposed to the price going up?
Right.
No.
That was the second point I was going to make. I mean, obviously, I think there's a little bit of cope there, right? It's like, oh, we don't care about price, but obviously it's good for the community when the price goes up. It's good for the utility too. I mean, if Monero is at $1,000 a coin versus 200, there's a lot more liquidity there. There's a lot more money that can be sent, right? You're raising a lot more money for Ross Albright if Monero is at 1,000 versus 100, right? Because now the community itself is more enriched. They have more money to spend. And it just allows you to send more in one felt swoop because the market cap is larger. But I do think the culture of Monero has value whether or not it's worth $1 or worth $100 in fiat.
Mhm.
Is a good meme and an important meme, and I think Monero does that better than any other crypto, and it's really because we see it as a utility more, a tool more than anything else.
All right.
But I do think it's it's going up in value. I mean, inevitably, it's going to go up. Metcalfe's law, right? So it's limited in supply. It's like Bitcoin. It's limited as more people use it, even if they're not saying, oh, I want to store it. I'm not treating it like a pet rock like in Bitcoin. It's inevitably going to go up in value because supply demand, the more people that use it, the higher the price is going to go.
Yeah, I'm not so worried about the price necessarily, but I do know that people are always asking about it. So some of my audience isn't as familiar with Monero.
Yeah, I mean the big thing too with Monero's price and the reason why it hasn't gone up is because it's been
It's a stable coin.
suppressed. It's been suppressed in many ways. We were just talking about it. It's been delisted from exchanges all around the world. It's like enemy number one, right? So
Mhm.
we see
Yeah,
that
I mean, in
as
the
a
crypto
positive,
space, really, it is. I can't
right?
think
We
of
see
anything else that's been more just like attacked persistently than
yes.
Monero in the crypto space.
Yeah, I mean the major exchanges all over the world have delisted Monero, right? There's really not too many left for it to be delisted from. And you got to ask yourself, well, why? Why are they delisted? Why are they going after Monero? So that's the positive side of it. Like, oh, well, this just means Monero works as intended. If governments don't want it to exist, if they don't want people to have access to it, that means it's doing what it's supposed to do. So that's bullish. But the negative consequences, if it's not on exchanges, it's not easy for people to obtain. They can't ape into it. I mean, at your conference, you might have people there that'll be like learning about it for the first time. Be like, oh, that sounds amazing. How do I get some? Well, you have to go buy Litecoin and then you can swap it into it. It's not as easy as going on Coinbase, connecting your bank account, and you can buy $100,000 worth of Monero.
I mean, if
because
you're in
it's
Florida, everyone can make a Kraken account if they're a U.S.
sure.
citizen. Make a Kraken account, and they can buy a shit ton of Monero on there. Kraken does an okay job at providing liquidity.
It's on Kraken. It's on Kraken in the U.S., but that's really the only major exchange that it's on.
I mean, but the thing
because of
is,
the
even
US.
with all these delistings throughout the past 2 years, like it's been bad for a certain period of time, but it's always come back up to what seems to be this median price that it's been at for the past couple years, and it's now breaking out of this particular range it's been stuck in. It is now starting to stick around into a higher range, which will probably be there for a little while. But I think Monero's a good thing to think about as in terms of like a longer term hold. I think it's better longer term hold. It's more security because you see these other mainstream coins, they have much larger swings. So there's definitely money to be made there, just less immediate than if you were to tell everyone to like buy like Solana or whatever, something that, you know, is ubiquitous and is available on every single exchange. But as people over time, as people start to gain value understand the value of privacy, and as you start to get these big, huge mentions like Monero being mentioned on Tucker Carlson's show, stuff like that, it'll start to pick up for sure, and people will they'll go out of their way to get it even when it's not available on like Coinbase or Binance, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean, there's currently less Monero in existence than Bitcoin, right? So it's currently more.
Where's
arguably
the
more
best place
scarce.
for people to get Monero?
Kraken?
If you're in the US, I'd say Kraken. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
But if you're in New York, there's no way to obtain Monero on a centralized exchange. You could obtain it through Cake Wallet using the exchanges that are built into it. But once again, because of regulations, because of the attacks against Monero, Monero has never been listed on a centralized exchange in New York.
Mm.
And I mean, there's some more
Kraken is not in New
decentralized
York.
ways
Yeah.
too. Like you could use Havino. That's a bit harder. It's not like an easy just go and buy solution. Kraken is that easy solution for now. Otherwise, yeah, I mean, like Dirk said, like usually what people do. This is very common use case that we see directly within Cake Wallet. From the limited swap data that we get from our swap providers, is that most of the swaps that occur are people swapping Litecoin to Monero. Like Cake Wallet is used as an onboard to Monero from other coins. So like if you're in a place that you can't easily buy Monero directly, well then usually the solution is to buy Litecoin and swap it for Monero. That's usually what people do.
All right.
Tatiana, what's the website?
Guys.
What's the website? Let's bring up the counterparty.
Thecounterparty.com. Let's look at all my wonderful speakers. You know, I have like 37 different people. I have a lot.
Wow.
Yeah. So you too could be among these amazing people. We've got Aaron J. We've got Mike Benz. I don't know if you guys know Mike. He's really smart. Paul Puey, of course, you know him.
Oh, yep.
Mm-hmm.
Our friends from the Taproot Witches, Teresa and Nate. We've got Nick Spano speaking. We have Raphael from the Crypto Vigilante. I think he's coming. Matt McKibben. I don't know if we know Matt. G Money, he's from the Bitcoin counterparty community. We have Josh, who's was at MoneroTopia.
Oh, yep, Josh. Love this guy.
Yes. Who else we have? We've got Eric. He's going to talk about real estate stuff, which I think is pretty good. Kriston's going to be doing some live streaming for us. Jen is going to be doing wellness stuff for us. Travis Irvine has good comedy. Andrew Mayer, he made the Alex Jones video game. I don't know if you guys are familiar with that. Bobcat's going to be talking about water. Mark, I think he's going to be talking about how not to get scammed, like from a lawyer's perspective and like what your options are. Kurt and Gabe are going to do like a is hijacking Bitcoin accurate kind of debate. So that should be interesting. Kristen, Megan, and Tammy are both food freedom, and Sheldon's going to be there talking about ICP and then also Omnity Network. So
yeah, a lot of people.
Indeed.
That's a loaded speaker setup.
Thanks. Yeah.
And of course, we got Luke Redkowski too. It's a big one.
Yeah, I was hoping. What do you think, Tatiana? You think I'll be able to get on the show?
Well, I booked you for it.
Awesome.
So so now I just need you to confirm with me, and then I can book that, and then my event, and then you're getting a twofer.
You know what? I'm confirmed. I'm
all right.
Confirmed.
See,
I'm confirmed.
I feel a little
made it happen live.
I'm looking at. Well, Sunita and I talked about it yesterday. We're good. We're good.
All right, good. Well, maybe
What kind of?
I was trying to get the thumbs up from Penelope, but she
She couldn't
my
really
newborn.
manage it yet. But yeah.
Penelope, we
Is this
good?
like a typical crypto conference venue where they're like booths and stuff?
No, it's like a restaurant venue. So when you come
I
in, there's
see.
like a big square room with like a stage and stuff like that, and then the bar on the right. And then if you go through, then you go out into the garden area. And so the garden.
What is it called? The place?
Nine Beach.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, so people were there during my not art puzzle. It was during the Havening. I did an event there then. So that was kind of fun.
Very cool. Very
Yeah,
cool.
we've done some things here like the Miami crew and whatnot. But yeah, I mean, we'd like to I think we'll get at least 200 people, but if we have more people, then it has capacity up to 400 or 500. So we've got room. Now we got to just promote it.
Got some
Yeah, so
sponsors.
guys, if you're in the Miami, or you're not even, if you're in the Miami, there's plenty of time. Grab a ticket. You can fly down to Miami. It's when is this? It's
January 25th and 26th.
Okay. All right, so
So,
you got
yes.
like 3 weeks away.
Yep.
Grab a
3.5
ticket. Come on
weeks.
down.
It's not that hard, just fly down. It's called Florida. They have it inside your,
Can you purchase
travel app.
tickets? Can you purchase tickets with Monero? Can you purchase?
Yes,
tickets
they have to do it with
Okay.
me personally because we were trying to set it up and then got distracted. So
Okay.
they
What-
can do like a OTC deal with me about it.
Okay. Because maybe
I
we
see.
could help you set
Yeah,
it up.
it's on BTC Pay. This wouldn't be that difficult. It'd be actually pretty
Yeah, that
trivial to
was
set up.
Yeah, we need to set it up with our BTC Pay server thing.
Okay.
Gotcha.
Yeah, let
Yeah,
me.
if you have any questions on,
Can
if you have any
we
questions on that, we might be able to help you out.
Okay, cool. Then I'll write you about that.
Yeah, I could. Tux, would you mind offering some advice to Tatiana's guy who's helping him out? I mean, that should be pretty easy, right? It's kind of just click if you already have BTC Pay.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, exactly. I think if we already have it set up. Hold on,
Yeah.
I just got a reply. No. Can we get Monero onto our website? No. That's a no. Apparently, I'm not sure why.
Okay, well, ask them why. If you're using BTC Pay server,
Umbral's version of BTC Pay server doesn't support Monero.
Oh, it's not the altcoin version. It's the garbage single coin only version.
Oh, I thought
If they
Deborah
want
had
to
kind of
pay in
fixed it.
Monero, just accept it yourself via DM. Okay, I accept that. Kind of lame.
What's in it for sponsors? Just thinking from Cakewallet. Like if we sponsored this, what would be in it for us?
There you go.
Yeah. I mean, there's I think we were supposed to talk to somebody at QueenTatiana. So basically, I have the sponsorship package. I can send it over to you. But to be honest, we picked our speakers based on merit. So like our sponsors, they get our love and devotion, and we promote them, and they get some time on stage, and we're happy to work with them in terms of getting like whatever they want to get done in terms of like giveaways or something like that. But it's really like we picked speakers based on who we thought were good speakers. So I mean, I've seen the presentations from QueenTatiana when I was at MoneroTopia, and that was pretty impressive. So that was cool. I think always something.
Yep, that was me.
Huh?
That was Tux.
Yep, that was me.
Oh, I didn't realize that. Oh, okay, cool. Good. Very good. See, now we're making magic happen.
Do you know, are you using WordPress? Do you know what you're using for your, is it like WooCommerce,
for my website? We use Squarespace.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, normally I use WordPress for my personal website, which I need to actually get the store going. Why do you ask about that?
Because I was gonna say that it could have been pretty easy to just add Monero as an additional payment option alongside.
Yeah, we did it. We did it with Squarespace because it was like the easiest way to do it, like kind of just jerry rig it. But maybe for next year. But for my stuff, I need that anyway. So what do I need to have, like a Shopify plugin, or what do I need to do?
I mean, if you use WordPress, WooCommerce, it's just a plugin. You could add obviously you could do BTC Pay, but you could also do like the Monero Gateway is an easy way to accept Monero on your WordPress, or like Now Payments was an easy way because that's you could accept pretty much any crypto, and they have Monero as one of the cryptos.
But there's no way to do it with Squarespace, right?
With Square, I'm sure there is. I don't know. Tux, do you know, like, how would somebody use?
Not that I'm aware of.
It would
I
have
mean,
to
the
be through
easiest
BTC
solution,
Pay, I guess.
yeah, would be to host a full. There's probably a way to do it on the Emerald. There's probably a way to enable all coins on there. But the easiest way would be to
We
just
tried to figure it out for a while when we first got it, actually.
Okay.
Basically didn't build with it. So.
Their container didn't build with it. Is that what you're saying? Okay. That's
I
the-
could
Yeah,
I
they
could
probably-
let me ask Devrick. Devrick would let me ask Devrick.
Okay,
He might
that would
be
be
able to help us
cool.
out there. Okay.
I like Monero. I would like more Monero in my life. I
Yeah,
don't
what,
know.
I mean, what do you think about Monero? Like, concept Monero. Like, obviously, you've been in crypto a very long
How could somebody
time.
not want Monero to exist? The whole point of freaking Bitcoin was supposed to be it was anonymous, and then they trick you. They're like, "Oh, sorry, it's not anonymous at all, actually." So you have to do a lot of extra work, and you probably don't know how to do it, and it probably still won't be anonymous. So there you go. Like, what the hell is that? Like, that's not exactly what we were promised. That's why when I heard somebody say that people were maxis against Monero, I'm like, what? I can understand being a maxi against like Ethereum or something, right? Or like Solana, but like a Monero, like that's what your problem is in this world. Yeah, no, I think that we need more privacy tokens. It's the spirit that really counts, and that's why I like the conference, because everybody was talking about, like, nobody was telling me about the Bitcoin Strategic Reserve and how wonderful it's going to be. And that kind of thing makes me really angry. You know what I mean? Like, why am I supposed to be happy about that? That's not why I got into Bitcoin. It wasn't so I could give my Bitcoin away to the government, and so now they could have even more power so they could keep hitting print. Like, that's literally the opposite of why I did Bitcoin. Well, I don't understand why anybody would be happy about that.
Yeah, and I mean, the noobs today, they just don't know, right? They're just like, oh, well, it's gonna go up in value. It's gonna make me a millionaire, and that's the other thing too.
Well-
It's like, well, you're buying it at like $100,000. Like, you'll be lucky if you 10x it. It's not like you're gonna become a millionaire overnight with Bitcoin at this stage if you're just getting into it. And it's funny
Yeah,
because the
that's
people who are
true.
just getting into it are only thinking of it in terms of fiat number go up and like completely disregarding the more important aspects.
Well, I really like, I don't know if you guys are familiar with Naomi Brockville, but she does a lot of different kind
No.
of privacy content. And, it's like, I think it's just really important because it's such an overwhelming thing to kind of be concerned about. And I think that's why a lot of people don't want to take any steps in terms of regarding their privacy, because they're like, oh, well, I'm already screwed. Like, I've already been in this hack or whatever. I don't know. I think it's just hard to kind of take it on. But like those small baby steps, I think are important to just keep encouraging people to do. And so, learning about that, I think, is going to be part of our program. But just even that's something that I need to be doing more often. Like what's like a good audit that a person could do and just see their privacy status right now? I think it would just be depressing. Like, what if you go to that Amazon owned or whatever? Like, I don't want to go to that website. That website is
Yeah, I mean, I'm so out there in various ways, but you don't have to think of it like Monero is useful even if you're like the most public person and your privacy has been invaded in every other way, because it instantly gives you privacy in terms of how you're using your money, right? So it's like it's still, even if you've been hacked and whatever in various other ways, it's still giving you a lot of utility. It's allowing you to use cash on the internet, right? And there's value that comes with that when the government can't see how you're spending your money. So
do you think, like, what do you think is the biggest marketplace for Monero goods right now?
Well, obviously the dark markets are probably where the largest amount of volume is going through. We have XMR Bazaar. I don't know if you're familiar with that. That's new. It's only, it's like 6 months old, but it's getting a lot of traction. There's, in terms of marketplaces, yeah, there's that. There's right. I mean, what else we got? Tux. I mean, we have Monerica, but that's not a marketplace. That's more of a listings showing all the that's a great resource to check out. Monerica shows all the different businesses that accept Monero.
Okay.
In terms of Monero marketplace, it's like Monero Market, XMR Bazaar.
Yeah, XMR Bazaar, Monero Market.io, and then there's one more that opened recently. So there's a lot of these small eBay type websites that are starting to become more popular that people can just buy stuff on peer-to-peer.
Yeah, I mean XMR Bazaar is getting traction. It's actually pretty crazy. You could effectively
I
start
remember
to live off
looking at it
Monero. Yeah.
before I went to you to see you guys in
Okay.
Mexico City. So let's see how it's progressed.
Yeah, it's gaining momentum, and when I'm down in Miami, I'll definitely be
Oh, we
talking
got
that
some
up too.
cheese here. That's important. I like that. We got an Italian store. I approve of that. All right, we've got some art, it looks like. So people are selling some artwork. They're looking for renting a room. Okay, that's good.
Yeah, it's early days, right? But I think momentum is starting to pick up in the Monero circular economy. Like I said, I mean, where's Monero really being used? Go on dark markets, and you'll see all sorts of things being sold for Monero, and it's kind of the preferred crypto of choice there, which makes sense, right? Because people have a lot to lose if they get caught selling something illegally. So it's proving its utility there.
Mm-hmm.
But now
Well,
we're
they've
starting to
got
see it being used.
893 classified ads. That's a fair amount.
Yeah, for sure.
Wow, you can even rent a car for Monero.
Mm-hmm.
Did you know
You
that?
could buy a Rolls Royce for Monero actually on there.
Yeah, but who's
Somebody
going
we
to be
know.
wasting their Monero on stupid ass Rolls Royce? Come on, we don't need that. Monero more than you
Yeah,
need a Rolls Royce. I have a
wouldn't
Rolls
be
Royce
my
in my
top.
building, like downstairs, and people walk by and they just stare at it. It's nothing that great. You get
Agreed.
over it.
I don't think I'd ever,
I
no
think
matter
I
how
gotta
high Monero goes in
sell
price.
something on XMR Bazaar. I have like T-shirts and CDs and stuff like that. Maybe I should put something on there.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, is it hard to
Please.
do it?
No, it's very easy. Very easy to make a
Yeah,
listing.
because I wanna earn some XMR anyway, so maybe I'll put something on there.
Awesome.
All
Yeah,
right.
yeah. Tweet it out. I'll retweet it once you put it up there for sure.
Okay, I'm gonna give this a shot. I don't really like to try new technological things, but I'm gonna give this a chance.
It's very productive, right? If we start getting people on this platform, because then we're opting out, right? We're not just talking about crypto. We're actually starting to live off of it.
Yeah, I think
And
that there's something important about that part. Like, don't get me wrong. I like if I had Bitcoin, I'd be hodling it, right? But yeah, there's something to be said for needing for it to move around and stuff like that. So yeah, I think like something easy is like putting some t-shirts or something like that up on there
mhm.
is gonna be easy.
and no fees. No fees are There's no fees to post the listing. No, we don't take any percentage of transactions so you keep all the Monero you earn. Just the
Well, I
Monero
think it's just
transaction fee.
important that there's cheese on here. I feel like that's like everybody's gonna get excited about that right away.
That was one of the first things I bought on XMR Bazaar was some cheese from Holland.
Well, it's actually, useful or whatever. What else are we gonna get? Okay, now you've got $100 USD gift cards, but it's 130 Monero. That seems like a bad deal.
Yeah, if we're talking about living off of Monero, like using it, then there's a lot of, like, someone brought up Shopping Bit in the comment section. There's a lot of these online stores that you can just
Shopping Bit.
buy gift cards directly from Monero. So like I'll show Cake Pay, which is inside Cake Wallet. Inside Cake Wallet, you can be like, if you go to the marketplace section, you can just select an Amazon card, put in the amount you want. So you want a $100 Amazon card. Well, you get a $100 Amazon card and you can pay directly with Monero, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. All right, the Cake Wallet is available in a lot of different places. I just looked it up over here. All right, cool. I think I have it on my phone already, but I'm going to check this out. All right, cool. So anyway, the world doesn't need to be watching me like go down the Monero rabbit hole.
We enjoy watching it. We do.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Maybe I'll figure out how to do something with my website because I am going to be updating it for the new year. And that's WordPress. But yeah, if people want to buy tickets to the counterparty with Monero, they could just write me. They could be my friend too.
Awesome.
Cool stuff.
Tatiana, anything else you want to get out there? Well, we got the stage here from Monero.
I encourage everybody to take good care of yourselves. Get prepared for the overlords sleepeth not. No, I don't know. I'm just goofing around. I'm just
But
saying,
buy
like,
buy
people should
some
come to the
Parmesan with
counter party
Monero.
and be, yeah, they should come to the counter party and be prepared for anything. You know what I mean? Like, that's all. Don't worry about the president. Just worry about yourself and be a better person. I will try to do that too for the new year.
Any comments on what on the current political? I mean, that's a whole rabbit hole. But like,
Um,
what do you
I
think in
just
terms of
don't
crypto?
care.
Like with
So
Trump coming into office, and you
look,
know, is it?
everybody thinks Trump is their daddy. He is more their daddy than Kamala was their mommy. But like, let's face it,
Mhm.
government is not here to be your friend. If they turn off the income tax, I will be shocked. I don't think anything's going to change. People just need to, work out. Try not to eat junk food. I like to eat a lot of junk food, but I'm going to try and take my own advice. Like make babies, be nice to their neighbor, buy some Bitcoin, buy some Monero, try and, be a decent person. That's what they should worry about. They shouldn't worry so much about what's on the television, what the news is, except for, ending the wars. So that's why, you use things like Monero and Bitcoin in order to take away the money from the world powers.
Fantastic,
Yeah.
Tatiana. Thank you so much for jumping on. Very
Thanks
much
for
looking
having me,
forward
guys. It
to
was a
hanging
fun
out in
show.
Miami.
All right. See you
All
soon.
right.
See you next month.
All
Bye
right.
now. Take
Yeah.
care.
See you soon.
Thanks. Bye.